Miss and Jacquino. It's a big finish semi on English Riviera. Dormier's lifting. Revolutionary Miss and Jacquino coming as well. Dormier holding on. They hit the line. Dormier in a photo.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host Scoot, and I'm joined in studio by Mr. Baywatch, John Walter. How are you, Walt?
I've changed my name to Hasselhoff.
Oh, just a little bit of a costume check. Keep your pants on though. You got the full Baywatch kit, and you've even got the red shorts.
We'll keep it on. Well, everywhere's a bay at the moment. What a joke.
It's crazy,
Bay's
isn't it?
coming in.
Yeah, and it's still absolutely hammering down here at the Gold Coast, and Brisbane's underwater for the next week, so there'll be not much reprieve for everyone around the northern rivers, and Brisbane will just be off, so you can just put a pen through any racing in Queensland for the next week. I just don't know how it's going to subside.
Yeah, the poly track's their only hope, I think, for any sort of racing, but even getting the horses out of Gold Coast, Brisbane is pretty much impossible, I think. So it took me an hour and a half to get here, normally a 30-minute drive, so it's not much fun for anyone at the moment. And I don't doubt most horses would be getting worked at places like Eagle Farm's completely under, or was. I don't know how it is now. And,
Warwick Farm evacuated. So preparations are just all up in the air, aren't they?
That's it, and trying to work out as a punter, even if they do go around, what horses have missed work, what horses have, had uninterrupted preparations is going to be nearly impossible for, so it's going to knock-on effect for us for a while. We'll be there.
And a big warm welcome to the two lads down in the Melbourne studio, the People's Republic of Victoria, DK and Nico Noonan. How are you, lads?
Yes, Nico. How are you? Good. Going all right down here, Scooty?
30 degrees today. There's nothing to complain about in Melbourne, is there?
Not yet. A bit of precipitation on the way for the weekend. But, did you see Walt's T-shirt there? Nico, Pamela Anderson. Did you know Pam?
Yes, I'm alerted to Baywatch, unlike my other sort of things on the show.
Mate,
I've actually had people come up to the races and talk to me about how I limited knowledge of movies compared to what you guys have. So
mate,
I need to live there. But I know Baywatch.
Baywatch was The Rock.
She was
The Rock. Was he? No, he was The Rock. The Rock was in the movie, wasn't he?
It's Zac Efron.
She was.
There you go.
Is Tommy Lee in Baywatch, or is this another special selected?
No. There was a girl, Tommy Lee, in it, the blonde, but no, Gina Lee Nolan.
That was her.
Gina Lee Nolan.
I had the poster of Pam in the red bathers in my bedroom as an impressionable teenager. She was Miss
Didn't
World.
need blue tack to stick it to the wall either.
It was a cracking weekend of racing last week. Had it all. It was a minor flood in Sydney, and it was an amazing effort to keep the races on. Everyone was thinking it was $1 to get cancelled, and the track was very interesting down at Caulfield. There's obviously a bit of watering, and it was fence on fire. We had a little bit of a silent punters club, which seemed to work. The banking page still didn't work, but we think we fixed it this time. I say it every couple of weeks, but $50 units returned 55.64, and there's a little graphic on the screen. Some of the highlights. Mug Punter, he found Flying Mascot. We coupled that up in a multi. We had May Rose in that same multi at 270 in Sydney. Gravina got us out in the last. Forbidden Love was a good winner at 750. The Daily Gas and Johnny Walter found that one. And then in Adelaide, Haynton Station for Will Clark and was a good winner for us. Will's over in Dubai at the moment, going great guns. And then Struck By was another top fluck bet there at $9. And Zorro's Dream was off the map. I think it was about 420 into 270 on the totes over in Adelaide. So
do they have totes in Adelaide?
It was. We lived to fight another day in the punters club, so it was good to get a small return there. So 10% there, but I guess the car crash watch and pity it was a silent punters club and no stream. But as we said earlier, we had May Rose, Walt's tip. We had Flying Mascot, the Mugs Moral in there, and then it was all into Yarra Valley, a horse called Claudia Shiver, and it was one of DK's. Dear oh dear, it went straight to the front. It was probably going a bit keenly, and then blouse. DK, how were you?
Oh, yeah, I was... well, again,
DK, he normally ducks and weaves any sort of stream or putting his balls on the line on no wonder he's waiting for the silent stream.
So, of course, the low light was obviously my selection, of course, which is standard for these streams. Doing the money, a big result. Personally, DK subs, the... big multi going. So find this thing, 460 to 230, right? So market Saturday, today's the day, it's raced, you pick the right horse, it's right race, jumps straight on the bunny, walks, $1.30 on the turn. No, just gave absolutely effing zilch. And there was, it had about 8 positive factors, that horse, and 2 negative factors, and the 2 negative factors were it was trained by Lloyd Kennewell and was trained by Lloyd Kennewell. And that's probably why I got beat. Anyway... Anyway, so that's what happens. He's in the Trent and Natalie basket as far as punting concerns now, Kennewell. But I will say off the back of that, at least he wasn't throwing around millions of dollars on the back of that at the sales over the last few days. I saw him put one ad up. He paid 20 grand for something, which fair enough. He's that's right. But unlike other joints with the worst strike rate in the state of the top 30 trainers out there throwing around millions of dollars fair income, I know fools and their money are soon parted, but God, what's going on there? Fair income anyway. People can do what they like with their money, but you're backing in the stable with the worst strike rate. Spare me.
I think DK's referring to Griffiths to Coffee.
Oh, I didn't say that.
I'm only alleging. So
I'll second that. Yeah.
This is crazy, isn't it? I'll tell you what, there was one punter on track. It looks like it was in Sydney. Oh, I'm not sure. DK could have been on course. We'll have to zoom in on this one. But let's play this video here. There's a punter here kicking his hat.
It's the mug.
Oh, Jesus.
Looks like the mug to me.
That's the mug punter.
The mug would
What's
have
he
been
wearing?
swing. There's no way he would have flushed it that good.
What's he wearing? A beret to the races?
When you zoom in closer too, it's just,
Samuel LDK.
you know what? It was just after Forbidden Love hit the line.
Oh. Well, he would have had to wait about another 3 minutes for the favourite to hit the line, so it wouldn't have been mug.
Oh, it was an absolute peach, whoever found that one. Some live footage of the mug there kicking his hat after Ice got beat. But the Randwick track, it was amazing that it actually got through the meeting, wasn't it?
Insane. Like, it was less than $1 that it was off, and then for them to run it, it was just peak PVL, like just saying, I'm running, doesn't matter what happens, get your bloody butt up. And then you saw the first two races, you couldn't see the horses. You're just waiting for someone to die, and no one had any complaint. The track played absolutely perfectly, and I don't know what the hell happened. It was insane how good the track was.
Because everyone was saying it was just ruin.
Well, it would have to be. And this week, again, it's going to be a bit of a bloody nightmare for them if they get any break in the weather and they do run, but the damage, whatever happened last week, but wouldn't have had any chance to repair. But, yeah, they did an incredible job to get through last week. Insane.
And some 2-year-olds would just be busted up for the whole preparations, and then some horses just won't recover off that.
Yeah,
run.
that's how you've got to try and measure up now, the recovery rate from that, then plus whatever work they've missed. All this is just going to be an absolute nightmare. The 2-year-olds, like that, as you said, they'll sleep for a month. That I don't know why they would have run that extravagant star. Easy to say now, it's got beat 45 lengths, but any horse that sort of looked like it had a slipper potential, why would you run it on that track? I've got no idea.
And then Caulfield Rails in run, it's going to throw up funny bits of form. I got pretty tangled up, and we sort of got tangled up for the Punters Club. I think every time we backed one of Nico's, we were on the wrong one, and then anything that we didn't back in Nico's ended up winning. So I handled Nico's set, and we did for the Punters Club just absolutely awfully. So apologies there, Nico, because you've had a great day, and then somehow we've managed.
I thought you did a good job to miss the one of Gaze that he sort of. I didn't have too many looks in the chat, but he mentioned it about 67 times.
Castlereagh kid.
Yeah, I did notice that one. I thought that was a good miss. You left that one straight through to the keeper. That was great.
Oh, it's not easy stuff steering, but I found how did you find? Obviously, you found the meeting a lot easier than I did, Nico. But once the track patterns become like that, we've even got ourselves tangled up in the Oakley Plate Menage, and I just made an absolute meal of it, and
it's tricky.
To zig when I should have zagged. It stifles me for turnover when it's like that.
Definitely,
Nico?
It's tricky. I think early in the day it was more. It looked worse than what it was because the tempos were so slow. We had some small fields and those kind of things. Like later in the day when there was actually some races that were run genuine, like the Blue Diamond and co. Like they could sort of come a bit wider, but definitely not disadvantage to be on the fence. Probably advantage, and it probably was rails in run for sure. But I even managed to get on DK's other camp, Sierra Sue. Managed to get them home in a Group 1. I think that's the first Busted Young winner I've ever backed.
Double figure odds. That's the go. You know, try backing them hard in the market and see you go. See the things that sail on Friday. See the thing. Evans in the first race was pulled up at the 600. Nothing American Actress. Everyone wants to play her into off its last section at Kilmore. Yeah, I think it fell into third or something, like 350 or something. But yeah, double figure odds. Home they go. Yes, I'm not saying he can't train, but as far as punting, because Trent doesn't know, right? He's proven he doesn't know. Everyone's heard his things they leak out, his pre-race things. He doesn't know. So that's why they win at double figures and hard in the market. Try backing them and see how you go.
She had the
end up in the poorhouse.
Perfect run for that day. Like drew on the fence, just got off. Right place, right time, which is how she's probably going to win her races, as we saw in the Rupert Clark and a few other races she had. So, Yeah, it was a day that was a little bit tricky in some places. So I just got more confident throughout the day. Marabi, that was just going to be her absolute race, and Castlereagh Kid was the same. That was a peach of a ride by Oliver, just getting him up and rolling. He looks like he's going to be hard to beat in Alistair Clark, and probably goes on to a Derby and's right there and might have the right platform. Like, how do you treat these Sydney horses going around in the next few weeks on the wet tracks, and what do you even do with these Sydney tracks? Like, is Randwick going to recover, or are you just going to be on a heavy deck for the whole entire autumn? Like, it's going to be tough going for sure.
Another little issue popped up on Twitter that got a few people upset was Flutter and their market share. John Stensholt from AFR tweeted this one, a bit late to this, but Flutter's latest results show Sportsbet's got a 50% market share in online betting in Australia now, adjusted operating profit of $750 million in 2021. Crazy numbers. And I think that is absolutely crazy. Given they...
Not much of it's mine. Bastards. They're the lowest of the low.
It's crazy, hey. They're playing cat and mouse with a few of our subs. We spoke about it on last week's show. DK, any thoughts here? It's the tab's just absolutely gone. It's legless.
Well, that's what.
How's the tab gone? It's a joke. They've got endless money. They've got 450,000 metre head start in a 200 metre race. How are they so legless?
They got the vision.
They got everything. They got the racing bodies in their pocket.
The retail being closed wouldn't have helped. Like, so people who hadn't graduated, they might have come across, but
they had 20 years head start on Sportsbet, like on online. You know, like, it's not as if they've got any excuses on the online platform either. It's they can give free bets, they can do whatever they like. Now, I saw that some huge incentives they've been offering to clients, which I didn't even think they were allowed to do. So they've got no handicap. Like, it's just crazy how bad the tab is.
My biggest issue with that is that again, it just shows how big they are and yet how small they bet. Like, so Joe Coronica and Aussie Wagering and all the little bookies have got to bet the same NBL limits as they do, you know, and they want to bet you as small as possible. Look, and this goes back, when I left the joint, like 2013, this is the mentality that's in there. So it give people some perspective. So I've worked there for 5 years, worked hard, and back then we were allowed to do external punting, so punt for the joint, which was the carryover from Mark Reed, right? And in probably 3 years, 10, 11, 12, I probably won $1 million for them. External punting, $1 million, including 2012, won about $500,000, right? Got minuscule bonus, pay rise you'd laugh at. So I'd left. And I was saying goodbye to the boys and all this and that. And I went home, did some form, started betting on a race 2 weeks later. There was a Mildura meeting. And I'm thinking, Sportsbet were up on the markets. They were $13 this thing. And I'm thinking, I wonder what limits they would have put me on, you know. Even the hardest of the hard were getting on to win 1,000, although, you know, Bartholomew's and all that. But I worked there for 5 years, won all that money. Maybe they'll bet me to win 2. So I go and ask for, 200 each way or something at $13. 40 each way to win 500. As I was walking out the door after 5 years service, they'll cut me back. What do we put DK on? We'll put him on odds to a monkey. That's the mentality. Like, so, you know, you just can't. That gives people some perspective anyway.
We've got a high-tech graphic here. We've got a high-tech graphic. This is the Flutter share price from when DK left.
If you zoom in there, you can just see. So DK.
There it is. That's
Flutter share price has just gone to the moon.
That's the scale because we couldn't fit it in there. It's about a 400 to 1
DK's
scale there. Yeah, that's when DK left. 2000.
Oh. I'll tell you what, this is Walt's note sheet for every episode that we do, right? So I just, at the start of every one, I give him a blank piece of paper and his notes are on the run. I'm not making that up whatsoever. Oh yeah, I think it needs it needs addressing. There's the smaller bookies in the game that are trying to bet these minimum bet laws, but let the smart punters pick away at that $750 million profit and let us turn over more money with the bigger guys.
That's what it's all about. They don't all win. Like, it's all about turnover, right? Exactly. That's what the industry wants. Turnover. No, they don't.
All right, it's going to be a bumper show. That's enough of the dribble to kick us off. But Nico Noonan's going to have a look at the Group 1 Australia at Guineas Day. You got Sydney underwater, so there's a couple of horses going
Just
that
a question
way.
there. Like, if you're on Morris Me Dad at 40s each way and it's got to run, are they paying now or do we have to wait till after the race?
Terry Leighton's going to have a look at the Bunbury Cup on Saturday. It's at Ascot. The borders are open. Happy days again over in WA, but a bit of a discrepancy in some of the crowds. DK tells me pre-show there's open the gates for AFL, but some people not allowed on course for the races and capped at 500 and Like they're
Where
just
at?
playing favourites over in
WA,
Perth
it's a shambles.
with their crowds. It's like back to 2 years ago.
And they got more COVID than anyone's had the whole time or something. It's just, very well organised, that fella.
Mug Punter is back. He's back in business. He's back flying mascot. I think he's a Melbourne form judge now. He's in the winner's circle. He's kicking his hat with the ice bath, but he's back.
Just to say nothing. Just to say nothing.
Oh, the TopSport Steamers, they got so close. There was a pre-post bet of $1,000 at 71, revolutionary miss. So that would have been an excruciating watch for that punter. You found the price. You've had $1,000. You nearly got up the Merlihan skirt, and wow, you find a horse like Dormier to knock you off, and it's absolutely sickening. So hopefully that punter just booked that out, and still got a result on the race with that good ticket of 1,000 at 71. Up first, Walt's going to have a look at Randwick, but I haven't got a Manscaped product. I haven't got the shirt on. I'm behind the 8 ball, but the Little Birdie offer still exists at Manscaped. 20% off if you put in the code Little Birdie. I had the cleaners around on Monday, and I like to make a mess of the bathroom before the cleaners come.
You don't.
No, I do, because I get in trouble from the missus if I leave clippings and I have to have a shave and all that sort of thing. So I time myself. I haven't taken a video of it, but I've gone from head to quad, and I've done the full shave down in 10 minutes.
I'd rather clean up after you than the opposition. Like if old mate Mailbag's been in there, I'd hate to be going in after him. So I'd rather clean up after you than after him.
So make sure you check out Manscaped. You get 20% off. Little Birdie is the code, so it works on the Australian site, the US site, wherever you want. Make sure you get the Weed Whacker. I love it. And, I think you get a free pair of boxer shorts that Walt's modelled a couple of times recently. But the big wet up at Randwick, how big's your streak on the Bet Doctor show? You only do one race. Mayro's last week.
I thought we were going streaking. I thought it was like old school.
Are you
the quad?
3 or 4 winners in a row? I can't remember.
Mate, you don't count things. You don't worry about things. You're only as good as your next race, aren't you? Like the mug. Otherwise, he'd be off the cap. No, we're just chipping away. Just chip away, especially at this time of year. Like you just try and find the best option and pray.
Hopefully, you're chipping up Walt's selections back at home. But let's have a look at Randwick race 4. Fingers crossed they're still on. So they've got 150 mil yesterday. They've got another 150 to 200. They've got the rain bomb there. So
it's a 6 at the moment. They've just upgraded it, so it's all right.
It can't be a 6.
It's a 6.
Oh, go away.
Yeah, it's a 6. It's on the 5 side of a 6. Yeah.
I don't know. They just talk to themselves there at racing.
Mate, after last week, he's Harry Houdini, so I'm not saying anything.
Mighty Beale's a favourite here. Good winner last start, 380. No compromise for 20. Shiraz, 650. Zarek, 750. Too much to bear. That's me. Seeing Walt every Thursday. $8. Luncey's, 950 on Tont. $14, Cap Fever 26, Mustajir 26, and we won't bother quoting the rest. Replay we're going to have a look at here is No Compromise in the blue with the pink dots way out the back last.
It was a great ride here, and it amazes you that this ride is staying aboard, but it does have 53.5 on its back, so Mighty Bill, the other favourites, and the white cap about to hit the front. We're in the white cap running in the back of the grey, in the back of here. Now we're going to step off our left, and then we're going to step off our right, and then we're going to swerve around here and do our best to hit the line. But this horse, I sort of went back as far as I could to make sure it does handle heavy. I don't like to try and find horses. There's a lot of things I don't try and find here, and I did send you a message, and it does take me back to Batman in about 1985 when the Joker's in the side alley with Bruce Wayne, and he says, you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? And that's what it's like playing in these 2,000-metre races at Randwick with 63 Waller runners in it. But I think this is the right one. I've done the reverse psychology on the race, and I think Jay will have to make a meal of it to get this horse beat. The other runners are not as well set up as this bloke. He's won over 2,400, so 2,000 on a wet won't be a problem. He can sustain a run. He can sustain a run on a wet track. He just needs to sort of track up. There doesn't look any crazy, shouldn't be 10 length tearaways or anything silly in the race. And I think this horse will run you a very good race with the Mighty J Ford. No compromise.
And it's got formats at 2,300. So
yeah, that's it. So and wet, like it sort of did. It only just beat Leighton one day on a wet track, but slow tempo that day. He had to sort of make a 600-metre run, whereas Leighton was closer to the speed, and he was entitled to be dying on his run there. So Saturday's the day.
Can either of you Mexicans get this one beat or find a chink, or is there a black booker against this
No,
horse?
you just keep watching that replay, don't you? I watched it a few
I loved
times,
it.
and geez, it was something beat, wasn't it, if you were on that day? So you might as well follow up, and you'd think from 13 he's not going to end up going back to the fence. Hopefully he's just blending down the middle. But looking at this race, like it seems like it's going to be a lead up to the Sydney Cup. Like Mighty Beale's probably going to head that way. I imagine Shiraz, who was okay in that race. First up, when I saw him in Melbourne, sort of off the TV back in the spring, he looked like a wet track wouldn't worry him too much. He'll plough through with that horse. I've had something on him for the Sydney Cup. I think Great House is in Sydney Cup contention as well. He ran third in that race, so that picture may become a bit clearer after this race on Saturday.
I think, and you like the jockeys wise and trying to measure them up. I think J Max on Shiraz, it's like 650, and what are we getting, like 13-4 about the Mighty No Compromise. If you swap the jockeys there, I know McDonald's not riding 53.5 anytime soon, but you'd be 6-4 No Compromise and 10-1 the other one. So, and I do there is a big difference in rider, but I think that's why we're getting the price we're getting.
It's we'll just quickly go through a couple of the markets. Nature Strip $1.70, Eduardo $2.30, Remark 26, and September Run on the same quote there. Interesting.
What about
setup.
Shelby
Everyone's
66?
Pardon?
What about the Last Start Highway winner there in the Challenge Stakes? You don't
Shelby.
give it a chance. A 4-length dominant winner of the Highway last week, lining up against Nature Strip. What the hell?
Nice little eight horse field.
Yeah, Nature Strip's drawn perfectly there. It's just not a race you really want to get involved in, is it? But it's you couldn't believe they'd run Remark in it even first up. I guess it's got to kick off somewhere, but jeepers.
It's the Fireball looks like a good race too. Marzu.
Is your horse coming up? The
Profiteer.
Yeah. On its way to Ipswich 800.
No, I think the heavy track will find it out. They might scratch. I don't think it's the heavy track as its go.
I think yes. Yeah, we did kill. You see, we all killed a horse. I was thinking about a horse that should retire, and Wild Ruler, we killed it last Saturday. Retired, gone.
Well, I see in the best bets you alerted me to Marzu. It's got a bit of red Zell about it.
What about that? Because it's got the red colours on, Triple Crown. Like, what's it got about it that Red Zell had? But he's got a good chance in that race. It's actually a nice race. And what's the thing that Tim's riding? Zapateo or something like that. They both clashed their last start. They'll clash again. They've probably got the ones that have got a bit of fit.
That Zapateo, I reckon she'll be a real swimmer. That also, I'd be no shock at all if she just loved the wet ground.
I was a little bit surprised the difference in price there. I think it's like $3.50 as opposed to $8 or $9 Zapateo, which I think will tighten up before Saturday.
And Lighthouse takes on Forbidden Love in the Canterbury Stakes. Interesting clash.
Was it the one that had no rider? Is it?
Yeah.
Definitely coming.
What's going on there, Nico?
Yep, J-Mac's going to go on Lighthouse by the sounds of it.
And a grey. It's a grey.
And a grey.
Oh, jeez.
It's a grey. It's a grey.
First start in Australia, ran on as heavy a track you'll see at Kilmore that day.
And revelled.
Absolutely, swum through it.
Yeah, swum through it. Yeah, great. So.
Revelled. It revelled.
And then you got Animo, who's proven on the wet deck, and Converge Halal. That looks like a pretty good, secondary Guineas. I think the Australian Guineas is a little bit better, or you could argue both ways. One's just a wet race and one's a dry trackers.
Better horses in Sydney, better race in Melbourne, probably, if you wanted to put it that way. Animo's ridiculously short. I'd rather back the other two to beat it, to be fair.
Does Chris Root still think it's underrated, Animo?
Underrated. Yeah.
You talk to him a fair bit.
Yeah, we're not on speaking terms, but we talk a bit. Yeah, it's just he doesn't hear what I say and I don't hear what he says. But no, the big man's I don't know what he's saying there that I'm missing last start. He's interesting. Someone rang me about interesting watching Tommy last start. Hits it with the left. Obviously, the horse hates that for whatever reason and did cost him a bit, but not much, like far out. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, seem to find again the line, but that's a cracking little race there, and if it gets bottomless, hopefully, it could be a way to find Animo beaten, but we'll wait and see. So yeah, cracking card at Randwick, but I won't go into too much depth. If you want more action there, it's racingwatch.com.au, and you can join Walt's Discord chat. There's chats about the flood. There's just wall-to-wall racing and entertainment throughout the whole thing. So
it's got it all: depression, pain. Every now and then we back a winner. Yeah, everything that a putter loves.
Yeah, good bunch of blokes in there as well. So it's really good if you like Sydney racing and New South Wales racing in particular, and there's other sort of free goodies there also. So make sure you check that one out. But it's definitely a weather watch there, and I wouldn't be spending too much time until really late on the Sydney meeting. They'll be blessed if they get it going. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with Flemington next. Now it's time to have a look at Flemington. A cracking meeting here, but a little hat tip first for Nico Noonan. Dormier you found in the Blue Diamond last week. Who's the horse to take out of the Blue Diamond, Nico?
Gee, it's a tough question. Dormier was good winning. I think the blinkers on really helped him, but Jacquino was enormous. Revolution Miss ran well. I think Count the Headlights was probably one of the runs of the race, given he missed the start, and he was super strong late. So
he's the one I'd want to take to the size if
Yep.
I was taking something, bigger track, and he's can wind up at the 1400 a bit better and all that down the straight. Because the pattern. I mean, it was the way the betting was, wasn't going to be much in it, was there? So it was who got the best run, and you picked it. You said Dormier's going to get the peach run here. So and Revolution Miss was behind it, and Jacquino was out in the bleachers. So so that's how it panned out. Which is a lot of races. Who gets the best run wins.
yeah, exactly. It's like Sebenak was a bit slow away, and he kind of ran out backsides for a lot of the race. So look, I'd be expecting sort of the first four, if they sort of progress to the slipper first five, I reckon they'd be right, isn't it? Like off what we're seeing at the moment. There's a few sort of handy 2-year-olds running around this weekend in Sydney. Greece is probably one of them. If she comes out and wins, she might put herself right up there. But there isn't a standout 2-year-old, is there? So I think, your Jacquinos, Revolutionary Miss, even Dormier, if they do go, Sebenak, I think they're going to be in any race they run in, just to how even the crop is.
Yeah, well, that's right. They're an even bunch, but up in distance into the size, I'd be taking Count the Headlights.
Yeah, but he looks the one you might be able to get something out of next start for sure.
And I think even though it was a bunch finish, just the way the track was playing, it was hardcore rails in run. So, yeah, a horse like Jacquino is definitely the one I'd want to take forward.
He's got some X factor, that horse, and he's got something there. Rubik, mate. Rubik. Let's hope that's our Rubik as well.
Yeah.
We've got a little Rubik colt in the paddock. I think there's 20% left if you want to slide into our DMs or send us a message. But we've got a little Rubik that's going to Mick Price. So very excited about that. And fingers crossed, there's a couple of good Rubiks floating around. So hopefully we've got the next good one. Have a look at the Australian Guineas. Wowzer. The field is absolutely red hot for this weekend's racing. I can hear Peter Volandi's teeth grinding. The big wets arrived in Sydney, and the floodwaters up there are it's just crazy. It just won't stop raining along this east coast. Let's have a look at the market here, and Profondo's come up favourite here, $4.60, Hitotsu $5. Has to be a massive query. These horses are coming off trials only first up, and they're bumping into a couple of horses with massive platforms here. Captivant $6 in from $7. Pinstriped hasn't been beaten yet, $9 for Got You. One of DK's, we'll have to get the Aussie mail. $11, Lightsaber $14, Coastwatch $16, Passero $17, and Ranch Hand $17. And there's another big thunder cloud that's circling my place up here at the Gold Coast. It's crazy stuff. But let's have a look at the CS Hayes. This is the key lead up for the Melbourne crop.
Yeah, I think it might be like 6 of the last 7 have come through the CSAs or something like that. So it's definitely the lead up. Pinstripe, you see with the white blaze here coming down the middle, the big chestnut, manages to get the better of Passero, who gave a fair sight here. I thought he kind of was going to get away with it here, but you can really tell these back markers, they're just going to be suited to the mile, aren't they, DK? Pinstriped and even Captivant flashing home. Forgot using the blinkers in Aussie's colours, really charging to the line there. So they look the 3 to probably take out of this. Of course, you've got Hitotsu and Profondo with the different form line, but I think that's the form line you've got to go off. It's the tried and true sort of tested form, and all those 3 ran very well, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, they did. It was terrific. I mean, the way Forgot You, he had to go back from the wide barrier and was obviously first up and having he was a clean-up first-up run. He had to go back, but he can set a lot closer. Pinstriped, he's just a racehorse, isn't he? He's just a racehorse, and there's going to be a bit of rain around. Well, I remember his debut in at Maui, and he just revelled in the
ploughed through it.
He ploughed through it. So,
Heavy 9, I think it was.
That's going to be. But I mean, these two first up. I mean, they've got both of them got a heap of X factor about them. I mean, that's the problem. Normally, you're sort of happy to first up at a mile. Even it was unheard of back in. Oh, I'm not that old, but you just took horses on, or they were 1 batters or looking for 2 mile or something. And now these two are X factor horses, both top class, both in $1 million Group 1 race, first up at a mile.
And dominating the market.
Yeah, dominating markets. I mean, Profondo could be anything. I know. I don't know. Robbie Dolan's going to have his work cut out down here, taking on the real jocks, but tongue in cheek. But he's not exactly a high strike rate rider or anything. But he'll know what's doing down here on a he's favoured in the race against our jocks, I tell you. But that horse could be anything. Oh, Totsu, man, what they're saying, he's improved. Well, I'm just heard some whispers. You might know, you're a bit closer to the camp than me, but I've heard he might go again this prep. So, it's just such a good race. I mean, Forgot You. I'm in the Forgot You corner. He's that second up, map better, up in distance thing that's sort of all the boxes I tick off the savaging the line first up.
He was the fastest last 200 in that CS Hayes and the fastest last 200 in the meeting last start there. So first up.
The key, I think, the blinkers, they always had that flat spot. He's had that flat spot. I reckon the blinkers have helped him through it. I watched the replay again this morning just to have a look, see how Zara's had a ride on him now, and Zara gave him a whack at the 300, which is, because they've only got so many whip stripes, they've got to be careful when they use them. So when they're really sprinting hard, he gave him a whack at the 300 and he responded.
Yep.
He accelerated, and I reckon that blinkers have made a big difference with him. And if he can do that this weekend, mapping closer,
I think that's the other crucial part to this race, like the speed map. Like Profondo's drawn 15.
Yeah.
Where do they sort of end up? Do they push forward and try slot in, or do they go back and ride him like the best horse? So Totsu's drawn 2. Like there's every chance he's just back and buried. Like he was in the Derby, but it's a completely different setup at a mile. Yeah. Pinstripe probably maps pretty well from 11. He can probably push on. There looks really good speed here. I'd expect a real genuine tempo. So Captivant's probably the one for me. If he can get back to his Caulfield Guineas figure, I think he's on the right track. I thought he had a bit of improvement to come from the yard sort of last start. I think he's favourite in my market. I'm finding it hard to back Profondo or Horototsu, but this is an extremely tough race.
But I look at the race and I think this is where I'd want to play bookie here. I'd just put Profondo in and Horototsu in and pray to God that it's not their grand final. Did your Aussie's new BFF down at Avondale Heights Footy Club? You're the new coach down there, DK. Surely is there a mail around Horototsu's grand final and Forgot You? What's Aussie saying?
Oh yeah, coming up a very quiet week last week, Aussie. Only the 3 Group 1s in the one day with him and Bray. Very elegant, hinged, and Sierra Sue. Just another Saturday for Aussie. So he's got Yonsin, he's got Forgot You, he's got Idotsu. He's just coming up for another quiet weekend, but. The horse he spoke the most about when I had my chat with him the other week was Forgot You. It looked like it was, he was really, really happy with what it did first up.
At the price, Captivant, Pinstriped, and Forgot You, I'd be trying to lean around there, but I think Nico from the Yard's going to be the rubber stamp that I'm going to look for on Saturday and see who's got the most improvement. But I think I'm sort of with you guys. I'd steer clear of the top 2 in the market there, and I couldn't talk you out of Captivant, Pinstriped, and Forgot You. It is a mouth-watering. I can't remember an Australian Guineas like it. It's a cracking race. All right, let's have a look at race 8. Is the Bob Hoysted here over 1,000 metres at Flemington, and the favourite here, John Malkovich, $4.80. That's one of Mug's old tips, I think. Maliva $6.50, Enthar $7.50, Brooklyn Hustle $8, Sword of Mercy $8.50, All Bant at $9.50. It's Me, Brett Kavanagh. I thought it was a pretty good run first up off a massive spell, so I'm surprised it's $14 for 2.16, Trekking $16, and a pretty good horse, Express Pass, is first up also at $20. But the replay here, Nico, that you want to have a look at is Sword of Mercy at Caulfield in the line.
Yeah, it's in the Rubiton. She's sort of in the moody colours, stalking the speed there behind Oxy Road, who's come out and run well since in the Oakley Plate. So I think fitness just told the story in this race. Like she's really putting it to him here. Marine 1 goes past a rock hard fit horse, Oxy Road, as you said. He's backed up that form. Her final 200 from about here is the 6th fastest of the race in a 7-horse field. So she's obviously felt the pinch there late. She's a real sort of pattern horse. Second up, she's had 5 starts for 3 wins in the third. She's good down the straight. She's won down the straight. The other defeat down the straight was to Fabergino over 1,000 metres in a really high rating race. I think 1,000 metres is her best trip. She runs 1,100 well. She ran a massive race in the Oakley Plate last year, but I think 1,000, if you look back through most of her form, that's when she's really at her best. The only knock I'd have is most of her recent form's been on good 3 or good 4 surfaces. She does have some form on rain-affected tracks, but it was back early days when she was racing maidens and 58s. Like she's gone to a completely new level since then.
She knocked around in maidens. I reckon it took her about 10 starts or something, 11. Got to double figures, I reckon, before she won a race, and then now look at her. Amazing what they can do, these animals.
She had an amazing last prep over the summer, and then they gave her the time off. She kind of missed the spring, and then that was a really good first up run. She'll take natural improvement out of that. If we're bordering on, say, a 7 Saturday, I don't know if you'd necessarily want to be with, but if we're 4 at 5 late in the day, I think you definitely want to be having her on side. If this was a good track, I'd be real keen to bet up each way at sort of $8. It's a really tricky program to sort of label one.
Being Flemington the way it drains, you'd err on that.
You're on the side it's going to be dry, yeah. So I think if we're in a sort of soft 5 range, we're not at that 7 or 8 or anything like silly like that, I think she's definitely a good bet at sort of $8. In a race that looks pretty up for grabs, like Malkovich is on the backup from last week in the Oakley Plate, whether that's a big empty out coming to this.
Fast.
He went real quick, didn't he?
So he must be an iron horse, that horse. He's backed up off that. So, but she'll get to suck along behind him. That's a good thing for her.
Yeah, Enthard's probably going to go with Malkovich. Esla Rock is going to be with him, and then she's kind of just the next horse. So if they fall in the hole, she's right there. Look, I know Trekking's got 63 kilos. He's going to have to carry the grandstand here, but he was unlucky not to win a Moya last prep over 1,000 metres. If he's anywhere in the race, like he could jump $16. Like he is $16 with TopSport. I think I've got to have something on him, and if it's real wet express pass, probably comes into the game. But if we're on a 5, maybe even a 4, if we're getting to that good range again, I'd be keen to back Sort of Mercy. It's just how wet this track is going to be, which is a huge conundrum. Like we've seen times in the past, the Bombs predicted 30 mils at Flemington and we get nothing.
Yeah.
So what do you do there? But tricky day. I think each way we probably don't miss their Sort of Mercy on the right track.
I like the 9 kilo difference between that and Trekking, especially with that form Frank through the Oakley Plate. I reckon you found a great each way bet there, Nico. And It's Me. I know it got beaten 4 lengths last time up at Sydney, but Snap Dance was absolutely flying, and that was off a long layoff. So $14. I would not make that horse a loser for me. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we've got Terry Leighton from Perth to join us. It's Bunbury Cup meeting at Ascot. Can't wait. Welcome back to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how proponents operate. I'm your host Scoot, and we're joined by Terry Leighton from the 1-1 pod over in Perth. How are you, mate?
Yeah, very well, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me again.
Mate, we might as well get the hot topic. How's Pike going?
Does he want him back?
I'll take him back, I reckon, yeah.
Mate,
how's he going?
I'm on one. I bet up on one at, where was it, Goulburn? They moved it from Kembla to Goulburn the other day, and the last race I just kept watching the replay of this thing, and it ran alongside, I can't remember, something that's come out, won a group race since anyway. Oh, the thing of Kerry Parker's something anyway. It's in the last, has to lead. The fence is worth 10. All he has to do is give it a dig. Everyone tells me, Willie doesn't lead. I've come out. My missus is there with me, and it's like 450 out to 850. I just get bet until my head blew off. It's led. I bared my ass. I said to my missus, if they run this down, I'll suck every in the world. And he gave the lead up. 20 to 1 shots outside it, and he grabbed hold and went back.
Willie.
The favourite's like 1 out, 2 back. It ends up in front of him, turning for home. He waits for the cutaway rail, goes up the inside, gets beat ahead. Willie. Go back to WA.
Yeah, that is Willie. Yeah, Willie definitely isn't a man who he doesn't like to hit the front too early. So if he's leading and has to be in front for 1,200 metres, that's definitely too early for him.
Willie. I don't find too many Hawks horses, so he doesn't cause me too much pain. But he was a late rider change on this thing, and I thought, Christ, you get Willie Pike at Goulburn. Surely that's an upgrade, isn't it? Surely it's got to be something. No, Bowman made him look like a clown.
It's just hard reverse. How many winners has he ridden since
he rode 1 on the Friday night at Canterbury?
Yeah, he's on the board.
Yeah, I haven't heard of too many. I certainly haven't heard of too many. I try to tune him when I can and see how he goes and see how many leaders he can butcher that you're on. But I haven't I haven't seen him ride too many yet. But he will when it comes, and he'll pay you back. Just be patient. He's a champ. He's a star.
I'm just looking through the punting form stats here. Shelby 66.
Oh, it's 2.
Was his first one.
No, he rode that one for Partelli.
Bedtime Stories.
On the Friday night.
That's 2. And I can't find another. He's 2.
Yeah, he went close a couple of times. That's about it.
I'll get around him.
He went close in the last at Goulburn the other day. I don't know if you've heard about it.
He's just instant scratching on a lot of tracks up there because there's a fair few leader decks and joints like Canterbury.
I would have loved his face driving into Goulburn. It is one of the lowest joints on the way. Well, he has, I guess. He's been out wide a few times in WA. It'd be similar.
Just while talking about WA jocks there, I just had a quick squeeze at the stats and see who was picking up the slack over there with him leading, and obviously Parnham and Clint Johnson Porter. They're flying. But one name that I never heard of, and an apprentice rider there, Terry, Holly Watson. Her stats are really good. Can you tell us a bit about her?
Yeah, I can actually. Well, it's funny. If Holly was on yours at Goulburn, I reckon it would have started 4 times the price and would have been twice as likely to win. So Holly's she's a 3 kilo apprentice. We got a fair bit of trusting when she's out in front and leading. Still learning the caper with sitting sprinters, I guess, as most apprentices are. But I trust her over most on leaders, and pretty happy following her in at the moment.
All right, let's have a look at Saturday. Let's try and find a winner on Saturday. And the high horse here is in the Bunbury Stakes at Ascot. The meeting's definitely at Ascot there, over 1,400 metres. And it's Clairvoyance, $1.60 here. The Spruker, $11, coming around $13. Hot Z, $13. And this horse, Clairvoyance, we'll take some credit here. I think we've played it into some form. Last time Terry was on the show, it was coming off a bit of a horror watch with W. Pike on, and then Holly's come on
a leader
next start, and it's just gone bang, bang.
Yeah.
And there's just so much hype on the Twitter sphere about this horse. Everyone's gushing over Clairvoyance. Walt's grabbed the keys at one stage. He's backed it since.
What about that day Pike rode it and butchered it? It was mad leader fence that day too, and he thought he'd sit 6 wide and 7th. It was a great ride. It was a great watch.
Yeah.
Walt's got him in the gun.
I remember coming on, and when we were chatting about it, she was $2.60, $2.70, and I said, look, I marked her $2.90. I'm going to take her on. She's a little bit below mine. Nobody wanted a bar of her. She started nearly $6. Well, she jumped nearly $6 at the time. I think she jumped $4.50 or something by a jump, but yeah, they didn't want a bar of her. And then she came out at Pinjarra in a race she wasn't meant to find the fence in. She found the fence. She was travelling on the turn, and I wasn't on. I told people if she ate. What am I trying to say? If she won, I told them I was going to eat the local pub without sauce. So I went down with a knife and fork and tried to hoe into the brickwork at the local pub. At about this point in time, I realised I was in a bit of strife.
Been there, done that. Yeah,
I'd marked her nearly $20, I think, and she won like she was $1.02. So look, this race on Saturday, there's only one other speed horse, and I know the stable pretty well. They'll be happy just sitting in the breeze or following her along and trying to run second. So she'll be given the rail, and the way she is going, if she can keep doing things like that, she'll win a railway later this year, or she'll come over to you guys and win one of your group races over there. There's a few of them, I've been told. She's just flying. I'm $1.55, so I don't know. I'm not a big $1.65 punter, but she's.
I know someone who is. He likes to eat very ordinary food.
Kick his hat.
Is today the day the border opens over in WA?
It is actually.
3rd of March.
Yeah, 3rd, 4th. Yeah, no, it is today actually. Yeah.
So Mug could be there for Saturday.
he could be loaded in, you reckon?
Just trying to find a dry track, but surely, and we spoke about it earlier. Participants back allowed at the races. I know they're opening the gates for the footy.
Mate, I don't even know what the rules are because they've just changed. Today, the rules have just changed again. And Perth racing, some of the trots tracks in WA are saying we're not taking spectators at the moment, just whatever it's called, integral participants, blah, blah, blah. We actually haven't heard. And I've got a runner going around on Saturday, which we're pretty keen to go out and see, but the lads can't even plan a day out at this stage of proceedings. So I don't know what's going on. You can go to 30,000, can go to Optus Stadium, but we can't have anybody go to local sport at the park and watch a local game of sport at the park. Apparently, you can't just go and sit down there on the in the open air. But 30,000 is to go to Optus Stadium to watch a very ordinary West Coast Eagles.
That's absolutely insanity. Like, I can understand maybe the jockeys and the trainers being in some sort of isolation until everyone gets the virus to keep the show on the road, but to ban local sport and open up the gates to AFL just reeks of.
Oh, it makes no sense.
He's just playing a form again. That's to me.
Don't speak about Racing New South Wales like that.
No, we're talking about Perth.
Oh, sorry.
Nonsensical approach from the start. So why would he change form now?
It's all very, very confusing stuff. But as soon as it starts affecting my ability to go to the races and punt and drink beer, that's when I get angry. Until then, I just don't really care. I just stay out of everything. But as soon as it's affecting me, and if my horse wins and I can't be trackside, and when we win at 20-1, I reckon I'll be pretty flat. Luckily, we're not going to win. So
Ascot race number 8's the Furphy Bunbury Cup. You'll be having a couple of these 2,100 metre race. Come right back. 550. True Attraction 550. Maraschino is $7.50. Platoon $9. Nerf Bosk, this absolute goat that I've backed before, $11. Paddy's Shadow $11. Bogart $12. Sentimental Queen $12, and Stafford's Lad $13. We're gonna have a look at
to the field.
Pardon?
750 the field.
9 to 2.
Oh no, 9 to 2. 9 to 2. Come right back. Missed it down the bottom.
True Attraction is the repo we're going to have a look at here. Talk us through this one.
Yeah, well, they all went mad in this race. Cockney Crew is probably the most noted leader over these type of journeys in Western Australia and was taken on by Hayden Ballantyne, one of your Freo boys, taken on by Sentimental Queen out in front. It just turned into a mess, and it was always going to be suited by horses off speed. If you see in behind, a horse called Platoon was probably the greatest moral beaten of all time. It was 8s into 350. I don't really care. I'm over it now. It actually is probably the greatest moral beaten in the history of horse racing. And I've seen Willie Pike ride a few leaders over here for many years. But that race was completely set up for a horse like True Attraction. So I'm pretty happy with the lack of speed on the Bunbury Cup. I'm actually happy looking away from the back markers and those horses from that race, because the majority of these are coming from the Detonator to the Bunbury Cup here. And I think we're going to see a completely different race shape. Cockney Crew will lead. I'm pretty sure Sentimental Queen up to the 2100. They'll be happy with a sit, just parking off them. It should be a lot more controlled tempo. Those back markers won't come into it. This isn't set weights and penalties as that was. This is a handicap. So horses like Platoon go up 6 kilos. Paddy Shadow go up 6 kilos. I think it's a completely different race. I think the market's got it a little bit wrong. I've actually marked the 11th favourite, the favourite. So I think it's the 11th favourite. Yeah, it's the 11th. It is. That's a good guess. Utgard Lockie, horse number 14. I've got it at $4.50. That's probably a little bit short.
$19. This is John Walter pricing.
Yeah, that's probably
same school.
Aggressive. Get aggressive.
Yeah, that's probably a little bit short, but I reckon I could have had it shorter. That's what she said. But Utgard Lockie was actually a surprise winner 2 starts back. It was when I was on the show and I tipped the Spruker and I declared that, and it beat me at about 90 to 1. And I couldn't quite believe it at the time. But Adam Durant only took over this horse properly for a full prep last time out. This time in, sorry. And it was huge winning over the mile, which you wouldn't think is its best trip. Went to the Detonator. He was a moral beaten. One of moral beatens in the Detonator. Up asses the whole way. Travelled tremendously. This is a race where it should land 1-1. As I said, it should be a controlled tempo. Those horses peeling off the back of the speed should get first crack. Maricino, Utgard Lockie, Sentimental Queen. I thought Utgard Lockie's run was the best of the lot. It's the weight swing horse. He got in horribly at the set weights and penalties, but being an 88 rater in a 90 plus gets in great here. Meets most of these anywhere from 2 to 6 kilos better at the weights. I thought its run was just as good. Lucy Warwick is riding $20 winner after $20 winner out west at the moment. She is absolutely low flying, and this is each way all day for me. Utgard Lockie, number 14.
$19 is that's a fat price.
I have to wait till Friday to get on as well, so I'm hoping nobody follows your show or listens to this. So.
No one does. It's sweet.
That's good. That's good.
No, I've got a small little database.
And if DK backs them, they blow them out. So
that's good. Get on DK.
Have a look at just Lucy Warwick's stats here, courtesy of Punting Form. You got last 57 winners, and she's hitting at 160% ROI flat stake at SP. 7 winners.
Thanks, Davo.
50
Thanks.
there. And you love these stats. Walter.
ROI, PO2.
Listen to this. And Hayden
flat
Ballantyne.
staking. I love the old flat staking. Like, doesn't matter what the horse is. Don't worry about looking at form. Just back them all. Yeah, sick.
All right, Hayden Ballantyne, the ex-footy player, last 50, is 19% ROI flat stake. He's had 6 out of his last 50 winners. They're both going better than Pikey. You'd rather back those
Wouldn't be
guys
hard.
than Pikey. Are you okay, Walt? He said,
I'll check out. Tell me when the stats are over.
We got a lot of trust in Lucy Warwick, and she's probably the only reason we can eat out west at the moment. It's we're finding it hard work getting a favourite up on a Saturday, or one that we're all popping into at least. But finding a couple that are
Mug punter.
Mug just cancelled his flight.
Yeah, and I've seen them. I've seen them on St George's Terrace actually. She's riding a lot of long price winners. She had Constant Dreaming last week. It was 30s into 8s. The only reason I'm bringing that up is because I backed it from 30s into 8s. So otherwise I wouldn't even be talking about it, to be honest with you. That's all I wanted to get to, was to talk about the fact that I backed that. So thanks.
All right. Well, that's a nice little segment there. You got a banker and you got an absolute moral.
Hang on, Nico's got something happening here. Nico, I feel like he's just been waiting in the boxes like the three dog.
He was talking.
Let him out.
He was talking about favourites. They can't find a favourite swing. This horse, Tricks of the Trade, has been putting up absolute picket fence recently in Perth, and looks like maybe the Derby might be sort of in his realm. What have you made of him recently, Terry?
No, it's no good. It's no good.
No good.
Nah, it's no good. Well, it's been winning races where it's been camped behind leaders taking each other on. The rest of them are no good, and it's been winning by a lip. So it's been going around $1.20, $1.30 every start. As soon as it draws an ordinary gate or doesn't get the rub of the green, it'll go down at $1.20, $1.30. And yes, I have been laying it every start and been losing, so that's why I'm saying that. So it doesn't go as well as its price, as its SP suggests how good it is. So the owner turned down $1 million, but he's 90, so. Apparently he's got lots of millions, he said, so doesn't need them.
An angle for next start for the punters then, maybe.
Yeah, 100%. Take it on.
Get out the texter and just put a line through it. Yeah, outstanding stuff. I've loved that segment. I got Terry out of bed nice and early.
That's why I was 5 minutes late. Had to
big following over in Perth, so everyone loves him on the show. So whenever we can spot some good racing in Perth, we'll try and force him out of bed and get him on the show. But big thanks from us at Little Birdie TV, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Cheers, bud. All right, it's time for our favourite segment, but puntingform.com.au is a great tool that I use. Nico loves it, and it's a database that lives in the cloud. Sugar Shane Baker can give you a tutorial, and make sure you sign up and give them a crack. It'll definitely help you go to the next level, and I'm hopeless with the computer, so it's very simple for newbies or IT battlers like myself. All right, Muggs Moral, Walt's favourite segment. As we said, he got Ice Bath beat last week. Flying Mascot was on the board, and he's turning himself into a little bit of a Melbourne man.
Hi guys, Muggs Moral this week, coming from a wet, soaking Sydney. The mug is not flooded, so that's one good thing. So this week, guys, the mug will not be punting much because he's at his best mate's wedding. So let's find these morals. We're going to go to we're going to have two this week, Melbourne and Sydney, because just in case Sydney's off. So the first one is in race 5, the English Sprint over 1,200 metres. The mug has gone with the proven A1 form, Overpassed. Oh, this horse looks great. Perfect race. Josh Parr, 59.5, down the straight. Oh, what do I say? Beat Animo last start. A first up, then Forbidden Love come out and won and lost and it just got beat. 1.95 to lost and running. Looks a good form. And the mug has already taken $2.67. It's in the $2.45 on TopSport. And the mug's other moral this week is race 6. Number 6, Dragonstone. Oh, this horse looks like being anything. It's coming off a short let-up. Its last run was in on the 1st of January, New Year's Day. Coming off a month and a couple of days spell. Should still be fit. Got good first up form. Loves the wet. Has had 5 starts on the wet for 2 wins, 2 seconds and a first. And you keep complaining the mug doesn't tip anything at value for his moral. On Tot Sports now it is $8.50. With barrier 15, boys, with all the scratchings, it should come in a lot of barriers. Okay. So, boys, the mugs morals this week are race 5, number 1, Flemington, and race 6, number 6, Sydney. Good luck. And what does the mug say after he finds a winner? Go find your bookie. Good luck and stay safe.
Just a polished media performer now. The mug punter is shuffling the papers. He's a bit of frontline or anchorman.
I think we may have solved one of life's great mysteries there. He could be the man behind the best bet comments. There was a lot of best bets there, and I think he could have written a few of them up by the look of that.
Well, you got the Donald Trump.
Yeah, I just think
bobblehead on the melon. Hey? Oh, he's high and dry, the man from Bass Hill, mug punter. Let's hope it stays that way with Warwick Farm underwater. The last thing we need is mug punter evacuated, and put up some good content on his Twitter page there too, doing the rounds for Australia Post. Okay, the English Sprint, race 5, number 1, Overpass. Josh Parr, your man's on it, Walt. $2.60 in from $2.70.
Well,
Able Willie, Shadow Devil.
A very good push when Jay Parr leaves Gosford. I promise you that. He doesn't leave Gosford very often. And when I was down there last time, he rode the favourite of the W's at Shadow Hero, and he vowed never to go back. So for him to be on the plane down there for Uncle Bjorn, he's not going there for a steak sandwich.
And the other one he's on is Dragonstone. He might have a bit of air sickness at 8.50. Race 6, number 6, Dragonstone.
It's down in Melbourne as well. It's in Sydney as well, isn't it?
I thought, was it going to go to Sydney?
So he's riding, was it Malkovich?
Definitely Sydney.
He's got Overpass, Malkovich, and Maurice is my dad, and his Dragonstone down there as well. Interesting.
Okay, you think it's going to be down there?
Who's that? I don't know. No, I didn't. Wasn't aware that it was down there. I knew that he was going down to ride the 3 for Bjorn, but I didn't know about Dragonstone.
Can it beat horses like Mazu?
No, 1,000-metre horse. He's got a short sprint. I don't think a wet track will suit Dragonstone. But Overpass looks well placed down there, and I dead set think Maurice is my dad will go very close.
Okay. All right, let's have a look at the TopSport Stevens, the big bets. As we said earlier, the pre-post bet just missed there last week. Revolutionary miss. Randwick race 3, number 3, Calgary Stampede is the first one here. I liked
sorry,
it
that's
at Randwick. Sorry.
Its first up run was a complete forgive. So, it's got more to give. I think. Calgary Stampede and that stable, obviously very very dangerous at the moment.
The next one here is race 5, number 11, taking on Mug Shadow Devil, 12.50 at 6.50 here. Shadow Devil.
Yeah, it's just a very scary horse wherever it was going to line up. Truck trial really really well. Since it's had that little break, and it's dangerous in any race that it lines up in. Obviously, a big class rise, but 650. I guess I thought you'd probably get better than that, but got a bit of spruik on it now.
Yeah, it's been. The next one is Mr. Brightside here. It was an absolutely outstanding run. I don't think they were completely trying to win last start, but it's Savage the Lion, race 6, number 5, Mr. Brightside, 4,000 at 450.
Leave that to Nick. I've never heard of it.
Pardon?
Leave that
DK?
Yeah, no, taking on Zaki. I'd be in his corner. Yeah, Zaki's primed.
Mr. Brightside.
Zaki's primed for getting beat. He got gifted the McKinnon, and he's all his spruik is off one run in Doomben where he beat walkers or things that haven't gone on. I reckon he's primed for a nice horse on the up like him, second up.
It's an interesting race, that, because you got Zaki first up, who's been primed to run in the Canterbury, and now they come to the Blamey, which is 300 metres extra in distance, obviously trying to find a drier track. Mr. Brightside's in there kind of well in relative to Zaki with 56. Then you have Inspirational Girl, Terry's little banner horse from WA. She gets in with 53 with the set weights and penalties, yet she's a Group 1 winner. Mr. Brightside's only won a Seymour Cup on paper because with the set weights and penalties, because she has only had 2 starts in a year and a half or something. She gets in there with 53.
That far in a Group 1 though to his Mr. Brightside, so
you didn't have to. You didn't have to bring it up, DK. It was very
more pain.
More pain there. And then Corner Pocket's won about 8 in a row, and he's going to find the front and could be hard to run down. So there could be grounds for Zaki being a bit vulnerable there. I thought Mr. Brightside would be a complete moral in this race. No Zaki, but he's graded me up a little. An Inspirational Girl with the below the minimums also grade me up a bit.
It should be complete tactics change for Mr. Brightside, which should add length. Oh, you can add lengths after his last start performance. I fell in the last start, and the camp wanted to just snick it off the wide gate. So I'm very angry, very upset, and can't catch that camp sometimes. DK?
First up from a wide draw, mate. That's normally plan A to go back from horses like that.
No, I thought the horse could overcome it if they weren't as negative, and he nearly did. So egg on face and
it shows
learn lessons.
Shows what a nice horse he is.
Race 7, number 2 is the next big bet here. Cap Devant, 2,000 at $7.
That's Nico's. That's Nico's bet.
Yeah, we've rubber stamped this. We did the segment without Walt here.
Yeah, Lee was a good run in Sydney before he ran well again the other day. He was a complete forgive first up. And when the money comes for those Snowden horses, when you can't explain it, that's usually a good sign that the horse is airborne. Profondo favourite. You've got to take it on, surely.
Yeah, the camp's just absolutely fine. After Cap Devant, it was always going to be peaking next start. It was a great run. I backed it. I fell into it last start also. But fascinating race and really tricky one.
He's been good to us, Profondo, on that Caulfield Guineas Day stream. He was he was the banker. So tough ask
Yeah, it's
first
just
up.
mad. Like Robbie Dolan around Flemington for the first time. He'd be looking at the flowers on the outside fence shortly,
what I
and
said.
it's coming off of 5 days after a trial. Like I wouldn't. Yeah,
There's no way I
he
could back it.
may be
I
the
love
best
the
horse in the race. He may not be the best horse in the race, and you're still taking that price off a ridiculous setup. It's geez,
I know.
anyway, good luck.
I thought Castelvecchio was no good, and he come out and ran second into Cox Plate to Lee Gracheur, one of the world's best horses. So he obviously knows something about the game. This Richard Litt.
He paid for my house, so that was all right. Castelvecchio got the Castelvecchio dungeon named after him, everything. So he was a good little animal.
That's the end of the show. Anything? If you get any late mail from Oz, just make sure you send it through. Can you, DK?
Yeah. No, we'll. I don't think I'll see it. When have we got it? No, let's kick into gear next couple of weeks. We'll get see more of Aussie, I would think.
Probably be too late by then.
Yeah.
Typical. All right.
Oh, Yons.
Yes, that's
Cool.
great mail. Great mail. Jeez.
Caulfield Cup Yons. Caulfield Cup Yons. That's all. I'll throw that in.
Well, she's in on Saturday.
Caulfield Cup.
Yeah.
He's getting early.
Caulfield Cup.
Well, they started talking about the Everest.
Noah's Ark. It could be like Waterworld by then. He's worried about the Caulfield Cup.
All right, we're gonna take a break and just end the show. That's enough. We've had enough. We're not gonna keep going live. Thanks everyone for
Cheers.
joining us, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch more of Bet Doctor. And guess what? The sports show's back tomorrow, and so we're gonna have a look at the AFL and NRL season predictions. So we'll see who's a contender, who's a pretender, who's gonna get the spoon.
Souths just wins. Show over.
Yeah, I think the Bombers are the
Bombers,
team.
Souths, double. Don't even know to do the show.
I think Souths are in trouble.
What are you talking about, mate?
They've lost Reynolds.
So what?
Okay.
See ya.
Side bet there. See you guys.